What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Music or Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Waylon Jennings' old basement studio. My name is Jury, and as always, I am gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole, who I'll pass it to introduce the guest.
I like how you pointed at yourself that time when you said, my name is Jury.
People gotta know.
And this is a good time to bring up, we actually do video for this podcast. I usually talk about that at the end, but if you've never heard the end...
Right, they're pretty long.
This is a great time to go if you're on Spotify, they got video right there. Or you can go look at YouTube and you can see how pretty we all are. And you can see that Jury pointed at himself when he said his name is Jury, which was different.
Very different.
But tonight we have an incredibly special guest.
So special.
Holdyn Barder is here.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's up, guys?
Holdyn comes all the way from the rural hills of Philadelphia.
There's a few. There's not many, but I do come from one of them.
Just the one hill.
The one hill in Philly, yes.
Is that the One Tree Hill I've always been hearing about?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Where does that take place?
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never seen the show.
You were telling me before you've only been once.
To Philly, yeah.
I've never been, but I love their sandwiches.
Cheesesteak.
Oh, my God. Number one sandwich in the world.
You know what? I just found a place here in Nashville. It's called It's a Philly Thing. Probably top 5 cheesesteaks I've ever had in my entire life. Yes.
That takes a lot to admit, like the hometown pride that you had to lay down to be able to admit.
Well, they're from Philly.
Okay. See, that
So,
helps.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah.
I'm not a traitor, you know. So,
Yeah.
But his name's Zaire, and I think he started. I don't know when he started the business, but like, it just. Yeah, yeah.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, true.
Not
there
that
we go.
far off.
But yeah, man, it's like my new spot. It's so
Okay,
good.
I'll check it out.
You have to go.
There's a deli called a 615 Deli.
I got to
And
go
they
there.
do pretty decent.
I'm a big food guy. I love food. I got to hit the gym more. I'm getting ready. Trying to get trim for these shows this summer. But no, I love food, man. That was the one reason why I left Philly, was because there was too much food and it was hurting me, man. It was.
Yeah, I did gotta ask though. With the okay, I just assume you're a Philly expert.
Yes.
When it comes to their sandwich, the cheese sticks.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I know the classic is like cheese whiz, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the deal.
Yes.
I don't get that part.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't understand. Almost everyone I've had in the whole world that I've had them, not in Philly,
You go whiz wit, man.
are like provolone or something.
yeah.
In fact, I think I've only ever had one time with like the cheese whiz.
I usually get a combo, so I'll do like 12-inch hoagie roll with, American cheese. They'll melt it in the bun in the roll, and then I'll have them put whiz on top.
Okay.
So it's a good it's like a 50-50 combo. I mean, I put like fried onions in it, and like that gets the job done,
Yeah, you got
but,
pepper onion or whatever.
but oh my gosh, I'm telling you, this place here in Nashville,
they do the whiz and everything.
they
there?
do it all.
Okay.
They import everything. They have Amorosa rolls, which are like special from Philly.
Okay.
And they import all the ingredients, and it's Holdyn's sign of approval, man. It has my signature approval.
Now, have you been to Piranhas?
No. What's
So
that?
I forget if they still
Is it
exist.
a dangerous place?
It was on second. Yeah. It was on second. It might still be. I assume it's still here. But you know how like so many businesses went out of business during COVID.
Yeah.
I went there when I first moved to Nashville, and my neighbors at the time were like from Philly, and they were like, "This place is awesome. It's the Philly. Like everybody there is from Philly." And so
sounds like my spot.
yeah. So it sounds like it's for you.
Okay.
But-
is it so you don't know if it's there?
I don't know if it's still there, man.
Should we do a
Oh yeah, Wesley, Piranhas.
Piranha's still there.
should we do a search on this unending mystery?
Yeah, of the
Piranhas.
perfect chili
I'll
or
definitely
Philly
check out.
cheesesteak.
Philly
Yeah.
steak.
Closed. Oh, dude. All right.
All right. Well, it's a Philly thing is all you got. So
I know. Well, hey, I'm telling you. Gotta check it out. But no, I love Nashville food too. I don't want to hate on Nashville. I love barbecue here. I love Martin's. It's a guilty pleasure, man.
I think Martin's is the best barbecue. Like there's the three like big ones: Edley's, Martin's, and Peg Leg Porker. Right?
Yes.
I think Martin's is my favorite.
I was at Peg Leg Porker. They have these Kool-Aid pickles, and I tried them. They're really good. Like I'm a big pickle guy. Like I love like hot pickles and but like they do these like Kool-Aid pickles at Peg Leg Porker. They're really good. You gotta try them. They're like red too because they like soak them all day and marinate them in Kool-Aid.
I like to
That
mix
is
their
the
own,
weirdest concept, man.
That's the most redneck shit I have ever heard in my life.
Welcome to Nashville.
Kool-Aid
right?
pickles.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody had their pickles and accidentally spilled it into their Kool-Aid and was like,
this-
it's still good. It's still good. Just take it out. And they're like, man, that's not that bad.
That's so great.
I
Oh
do
my
like that they
God.
do their own pork rinds. They make their own pork rinds there.
Yes.
At Peg Lay Porker, and
Yeah,
that's so good.
They know what they're doing. You don't mess with them.
Would you call them a pig-to-table restaurant?
Martin's definitely is, dude. So I worked at Big Machine Label Group. I interned there right before COVID, so spring 2020. And I had to pick up takeout one day for Smacko, who was my old boss. I love Smacko. And he's like, hey, man, let's, his name's Sean Macko, but we call him
Smacko,
Smacko.
yeah.
Right. And so,
I respect
of course,
that.
yeah, of course, man, he's a legend. So we went to Martin's, and or I went to Martin's. He ordered takeout, and it was for me and my other friend Tanner, who worked there at the time. And I literally walk into Martin's right by Belmont, the Belmont location, Belmont Boulevard. I kid you not. I'm standing there. This dude with the whole pig walks in the front door. It's like, everybody get out of the way. And he comes in. I like move to the side because I'm like, it's a long line. I'm like standing in the front. And he like takes the pig and chucks it in this bin, and he starts beating it with this like baton thing.
Was it alive?
Yeah, is it a living pig? Is he killing the pig?
I don't know.
Not for long.
I don't know. I'm like, why are you trying to beat it? You know, it's like
Tenderized.
beating a dead pig and a dead horse. You know, it's like, why are you trying to beat this thing? I was like, you know what? Just give me the chicken today. You know, like, but
Like, I don't want to watch my food get beat to death.
that is a pig to table restaurant.
Yeah, man.
Literally.
In your movie, you'd have like a little scene where you're writing down in your diary, like, "Dear Mom and Dad, they sure do things differently down here."
What's that Sugar Land? Dear Mom and Dad, please send money.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Baby girl, whatever. Oh man, yeah, man. So have you guys been good?
Yeah, it was good.
yeah.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Fucking
We,
incredibly tired.
Thanks for having me. Man. This is so fun. I'm glad I'm here, man. This gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Oh,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
of course.
So I usually continue the intro by saying Holdyn is a country music artist from Philadelphia, living now in Nashville, Tennessee, and
There's very few of us.
so how did you? Yeah, so how do you get into country music, being from the big city, as
Well,
it were?
Yeah. So I actually was born in Houston.
Oh, okay.
So I lived there. So my parents were in Houston for a couple years for business reasons, and I just popped out there.
Now that kind of sounds like they were spies.
Right. Or,
I don't
or
know.
drug dealers.
I think
Yeah.
one of my uncles
Business
was
reasons,
in the
wink.
Yeah. So one of my uncles actually, my mom always throws this around, but we think he may have been a CIA agent.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right.
And he lived in Houston. That's so funny you said that. That's actually weird. But
Yeah.
would you do some
Houston.
research or something? What's going
I'm
on
just
here?
searching the
This-
dark net before the
No,
CIA.
man.
CIA, potential CIA agent living in Houston around
Yeah.
1966
I don't know, man. I
or
don't know.
63. I mean,
Yeah, my Uncle Leon. But no. So I popped out in Houston, and July 15th, 1998, and then my whole family though is originally from Philly. So
Bruh, I could almost remember where I was July 15th, 1998. July 15th was my best friend's birthday.
oh god,
In
I
1990
actually can't
Literally.
remember.
Yeah, in
Literally
1998. Like, I'm like, oh, what did we do for
That
Elliot's
was a
12th
Sixth
birthday?
grade.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I popped out. 2:19 p.m. Central. I like know it.
Dude, I was probably like go-kart racing in San Diego, California.
That sounds so nice.
If somebody could tell me then, like, there's a baby being born in Texas right now, and one day you'll interview him in Nashville, be like, you're crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I guess the odds aren't that. I don't know.
That's real specific.
I mean,
Yeah.
but if you're alive before me, then at some point,
Right.
gonna
Oh,
happen.
yeah, it's going to happen. It's like, it's not like it's bad odds. It's just that it's like when I was a kid
like
living in
100%
California, I would have never thought I would have even been in Nashville at all.
yeah, I didn't even know Nashville existed until
Wow.
like
Or been
2008
involved
or
with
something.
music.
Like,
me neither. Yeah, man. Like, so yeah, I grew up in Houston, and then so my whole family's, like I said, originally from Philly. So they all moved back, and
Okay.
and so I was raised in Philly, and so just like in this little suburb called Newtown in Yardley, PA.
way better than Old Town.
Yeah, and it's first time I hold that one, man.
Wait,
60% of the time, it works every time.
That's great.
that's my review of your joke.
Yes. Oh my god. But that's so good. But yeah, I grew up going to elementary school, middle school, high school, like in Pennsylvania, and then
Okay.
so every summer I grew up. We had vacation home down Jersey Shore, so we would go down there in the summertime, my family and I, and it was just awesome. And then it wasn't until like, oh my gosh, it probably wasn't until 2013 when I like decided to start getting into music. And actually, here's how I got into music. And I was on a tennis court. So I played tennis. I played my freshman year in college, and I was on varsity high school and stuff. I love tennis. I actually want to get back into it. Music's kind of taking up my time a little bit, but been a little busy lately. But no, I found this blue guitar-shaped paperclip next to my tennis bag one day on a court, and I was like, oh, what's this? And I took it as a sign, from the universe, from God to, start playing guitar. And it was like right before, yeah, man, like it was right before my like middle school graduation, and I was going into high school, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do my first performance with my best friend Paul, and I'm gonna play and do Green Day When September Ends, and I butchered it, and it was so bad. And he did great. He was like shredding on it, and I was like, I was playing, he was doing the melody, and I was doing the vocal part on the guitar. I messed it up so bad, and it was so embarrassing. My sleeve like kept clipping on the strings. That was my excuse. But no. So I started getting it. It was more of a hobby, right? And then over time grew. In high school, I just slowly started falling in love with it. I started listening to all the country music I grew up with in Texas, so like Garth Brooks and George Strait that my mom would play in the car, and I was like, oh, I remember this from like 15 years ago, and I started like remembering all these awesome songs and artists. And then I played a showcase live music weekend. They call it. George School is the name of my high school. I got it on my shirt here.
Nice.
And they have a live music weekend. They call it where students can play. And so I did that with some band friends, and it gave me a lot of confidence. It was like my first show ever, and like everybody was cheering. They were like, "Yeah, Holdyn, let's go." I was like, "Whoa, like okay, this is something I want to do." So. I went to college at Lafayette College, my 2 first years of undergrad. I was a quantum physics major.
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
Yeah. And so I was really into physics and, like relativity and space-time and Einstein and all that stuff. And
Wow.
And yeah. Is that the Owen Wilson one?
Wow.
That's perfect.
That's amazing.
Dude, I'm just batting 100 tonight on sound
Dude,
effects.
this is great.
I haven't heard any of these before, so this is all
That's
trial and
perfect.
error.
That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a physics major, and so I wanted to be a research physicist and, study space and, CERN and, Europe and kind of all nerdy physics shit.
Sure.
And so I realized that I couldn't make a career out of that one day. I was like, how am I going to get paid from this in life?
So you picked the safer choice.
music.
Practically guaranteed.
Well, so I switched my major at first to economics and financial policy and analysis, thinking that would be better. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't what I wanted to do, So I remember sitting at my desk one night, my sophomore year. I had a crazy ex-girlfriend my freshman year, so I sophomore year was really my freshman year to kind of figure out who I was, and I would stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. playing guitar and just learning music business and licensing and songwriting, and like I didn't know you could actually do this for a living and study it, in school. And so I like would stay up with my friend Sham from Jamaica. Shout out to Sham if he hears it. He's so cool. He's great. I haven't talked to him forever, but he's so creative, and like he kind of got me out of my shell and was like, "Hey man, make these beats and do these cool things because you love it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, so I back to that story. I was literally sitting at my desk my sophomore year, and I had a guitar in my hand and my physics problem set on my desk, and I was like, I did the problem set, but I'm a good student. But I had to choose. Mentally, I was like, this is like a point where I'm like, I need to like figure out, do I go, and stay here and kind of just be unhappy in cold, wintry, mountainy Pennsylvania, or do I go to Nashville and start doing something or just studying music and just this newfound love that I had. And so I started posting online. I started doing Instagram videos and people started loving it. And like, I didn't really had singing training. I do now. I have a vocal coach, and I had one that I ended up using at Lafayette too. But initially, in my first couple of videos, I didn't know how to sing or do music or anything. I knew a little bit of theory, but I was like, no, I just kind of want to just have a good time, see what happens. And it turned into something that I wanted to do full time. And so I started coming to Nashville. I met a management consultant who hooked me up with some writers here. I still write with them today. And I started coming down here for writing. And so after breaking my parents' wallet, after like 12 trips, we're like, you know what? It's actually cheaper to go to Belmont than it was Lafayette College, which...
What?
Yes.
Look, I worked at Belmont for 4 years doing financial aid.
It was half.
Oh my God.
Yes, it was nuts, man.
What are you doing, Lafayette? Jesus.
I had to get out of there. So
I've never heard of Lafayette.
Of course, my parents were like, "Oh my gosh, yes, go to Nashville. This is great." And so
it's half the price.
Yeah, and they wanted me to be happy, of course. Number one.
Because for those who don't know,
if it's double the price of Belmont, is it like a really well-known college and I just missed it?
It's basically it's an Ivy League school that's unofficially Ivy League. It's not Ivy League officially, but it's as hard, and I actually think it's harder because Ivy League is just a sports league, really. Like, you think Harvard, Princeton, Yale.
Right.
Stanford.
Are they Ivy League?
Is Stanford?
Or
is Berkeley? No,
Cornell.
I think it is.
I think
Cornell.
of what's his name from The Office.
Yeah.
Brown?
I went to Cornell, But Brown. Like, so it's just a sports league, really. But I have friends that have gone to those schools, and they love it. But Lafayette was just like, because it wasn't Ivy, it was just exceptionally hard and just annoying. And I was like, I was a great student. I took pride in being a good student. I'm still a good student of what I love and craft and. But when you don't love something, it kind of just. Here we
go. These are the 8 Ivy Leagues. Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth. That's what we missed.
Yes. Harvard.
I didn't say Pennsylvania.
UPenn.
Princeton and Yale.
That's in Philly.
Yeah.
And so if it wasn't a league, Lafayette would be 12 on that list or something.
Right.
And so.
Yeah.
So, like, I was so grateful for that opportunity. I had an incredible experience at that school, but, in my heart, it was like, this isn't really what I want to do.
Right. And for people who don't know, like, because you don't live in Nashville and are listening, Belmont, if you live on campus, which you probably didn't.
I did not.
Later.
Yeah.
But if you live on campus, it's about $50,000 a year. So,
yeah.
If this is more than that, that's out of control.
Yes. And so, of course, my parents were very ecstatic. And so I ended up transferring my junior year. I had been to Nashville at that point a couple times for songwriting. And every time I came here, and I'm sure people, listening to this, if you're artists coming down here, it's like every time you come here for the first couple times, like, you just want to come back even more each time you come. And, like, it just had this calling that I just knew I needed to be here. So...
Yeah, especially if you're interested in country.
Yeah.
Like the capital of the country in the world.
And that was like I love all music. I appreciate all forms of music, but country was, something that I grew up on listening to, and I was like, whoa, I can learn all these songs. It's just G, C, and D, man. Like, I could just learn all these songs and put a capo on, and like, that's 99% of it, man. And so I learned them all. I started playing them downtown where Lafayette College is in Easton, PA. And so I'd play at this little pizza shop, and and what it was doing was it was kind of like giving me confidence, like, oh, like I could do this, And so when I moved down here, I went right in the music business program, and I was like that kid, like that was like I went from being the kid at Lafayette who was like kind of like annoyed to be in class because like. I was like, man, I really want to learn this stuff, but it's so not what I want to do. And I just, if I forced myself to do it, I wouldn't have been happy. And so I was like, now I was the kid in class. I was like, okay, hey, professor, what's this question? What's this? I was like that annoying kid that was like actually learning and not on their phone in the back, in the front row, like in there and like winning. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is great. Then COVID happened. And so I got an internship at Big Machine Label Group right before that. I was their first interview. It was such an amazing experience. I learned so much from working there and in operations. And, so I would fill up coffees and, snacks. And
Intern
I
bags,
remember,
yeah.
I remember Clay in radio. He really loved goldfish. And so I remember
The crackers or the
he took
fish?
the cracker fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
He wasn't
No,
he didn't have like 9
Yes.
aquariums.
no. And so we, so I remember one day he took my whole snack bowl. So I had to go around. They have a couple different buildings. Right? They're on 16th Ave.
Yeah,
But
like 2 blocks from here.
yeah, exactly. Literally. Yeah. Like walk outside. But they're on 16th. And so they have a couple buildings to the property. And so, each building has different departments. And so I would go and fill up the snack bowls and, do the thing, say good morning, everybody. Hey guys, how you doing? And one day Clay took my snack bowl,
Unacceptable.
the whole thing. and I was like, how am I going to fill up all these other departments? And I'm like, so I go back to Smacko and my boss, and I'm like, Clay just took all the gold. And he's like, no, we did not. I'm like, yes, he did. He's like, you go back in there and you take it from him. And I'm like brand new to the job. I'm like, I can't do top secret goldfish missions on like my first week. Like, this is serious stuff. And so I go in, I'm like, hey, Clay, do you mind if I, go and take some of the snacks back? He's like, no, I'm keeping them. I'm like, and they were just mad. And so apparently, like, it's like, I'm going to mess with your intern Smacko as much as I can, for shits and giggles. But no, I had such an awesome time there. Of all the things, I remember that,
Yeah.
But no, it was just great, and so I met so many great people. Just incredible to be in that culture. And what's magnificent about Big Machine Label Group, I don't work with them anymore right now. I'm a full-time artist. But when I was an intern there, what was so inspiring was seeing everyone be on their A game 24/7. Like, you walk in the door, and as an intern, of course you're fired up and excited to learn and to be there. But really, you see why they're so successful, and they're the #1 independent label in the world. And it just gave me so much inspiration as an artist to be like, wow, I can do all these great things, and learn these things at Belmont, and then just apply them to what I'm doing. And then maybe one day, I'll be an artist that's winning CMAs just like they're artists. And so it was such an inspiring experience to be in that culture. I mean, you're literally in the building where Taylor Swift and Thomas Rhett and Brantley Gilbert all got famous, and the people who made that happen. And when you're meshing among all of that, and you're going to these events and in Music Row, and I'm sure you guys have attended stuff, like, it just fires me up. I'm a very motivational guy, and it's like it still motivates me today. and that was 2 years ago, right? And so
I want to pause you right there.
yes, please do. I ramble
First of
so
all,
much.
I have like
No, it's good.
10,000 questions.
Yes, I've done everything.
But we need to play a song and show people what you sound like before
Let's
we
do
keep
it.
going.
Yes.
But before we play the song, I just want to tell you what I want to pick up with when we get back from the song.
Okay.
I want to interrogate God's guitar pick from the universe that sent you on this whole journey. Like, pick him up there.
Yeah.
I have so many damn questions about your story. This is what I'm thinking so far. Wow. Wow. So, but let's play a song first, and then we'll dive in. What's your first song?
My first song is a song that I guess it leads right into a little bit about who I am. It's called Stone Harbor, and I put it out summer 2022. It blew up in the Jersey area, and it's just
Is
about
that where
me.
Stone Harbor is?
Yes, it's a little beach town, and that's where we would vacation and still vacation in the summertime, my family and I. And I put the song out, and I knew it was special when I wrote it. I did not expect it to do what it did for me as an independent artist. And I literally woke up, my Uncle Nick woke me up one day, and my mom's brother, and we walked out in the living room, and it was literally on Fox Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
Like the music video. And I like texted my video producer Ben, and I was like, dude, like, our video's on TV. And like growing up, you don't really expect yourself to be that guy. Like, you see those things happen, but you're never the one that kind of you don't picture yourself getting that, and so weird stuff like that started happening. Like then NBC called, then ABC called, then the newspapers called, and I was like, what the heck is going on? But no one is from that area that, you know, is doing country music other than Taylor Swift. She spent summers in Stone Harbor. She's the only other artist that, from my recollection, you know, grew up in her summers, you know, at that beach, that town. And so, you know, she didn't really write a song about Stone Harbor. I just called it Stone Harbor. I'm like, all right, well, I want to be one of the ones to do it. And I wanted to do it properly and right. And I think we did. I wrote it with my friend Taylor Teasley. And so it was so awesome. And but yeah, we blew that thing up, and I'm so proud of it. And all the fans I met that love it and stream it, and it's like just an identity thing. It's like, yeah, this is who I am. This is where I'm from. And I take you through like my old job in the song. I talk about like the street I grew up on, like the things I love, and it's all real. And we filmed the video there. I flew my whole production team up from Nashville, and we took 3 days. We did it all, and it was just incredible. We hired a local actress, Molly. She killed it, and it was just amazing. Like all green lights, everything was just so awesome. And but yeah, it's all out now, man. It's great.
All right.
Heck yeah.
And,
Sorry to ramble.
No, you're good. And here's Stone Harbor.
'98th Street is where I grew up. Poised 5 and 10 and a Springer's waffle cup. Taking trips to Sam's and Wildwood, yeah. Beach babes, Hobie cats, Sue and Rick's fishing pier. You gotta try that. It's where I'm from. It runs in my blood, yeah. There's a lot of things in life I love. Not as much as Stone Harbor. We just kick it back in the water, spraying that copper tone up on you, hop on you. A little float in the bay in the high tide. I think you ought to visit my beach down on the Mater in the summertime when it's getting hotter. No problem. What you say, maybe what you wanna do? It's Stone Harbor. It's Stone Harbor. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hit up the Wawa, them frill shakes and soft pretzels got me all night. Don't forget that change when you cash out, yeah. Oh yeah. It's getting wild at the wind drift. Couple bands off key, but they're killing it, making all them young girls fall in love. There's other towns where you can turn it up, but not as much as Stone Harbor. We just kick it back in the water, spraying that copper tone up on you, hop on you. A little float in the bay in the high tide. I think you ought to visit my beach down on the Mater in the summertime when it's getting hotter. No problem. What you say, maybe what you wanna do? It's Stone Harbor, yeah, it's Stone Harbor. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Laying down in the reeds, you can smell the low tide summer cool bay breeze blowing on that salty sun-kissed skin. It's Stone Harbor. We just kick it back in the water, spraying that copper tone up on you, hop on you. A little float in the bay in the high tide. I think you ought to visit my beach down on the Mater in the summertime when it's getting hotter. No problem. What you say, maybe what you wanna do? It's Stone Harbor. We just kick it back in the water, spraying that copper tone up on you, hop on you. A little float in the bay in the high tide. I think you ought to visit my beach down on the Mater in the summertime when it's getting hotter. No problem. What you say, maybe what you wanna do? in Stone Harbor. Yeah, it's Stone Harbor. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we're back.
Okay, so
We're back.
that was Stone Harbor. But the guitar pick that started it all. So you kind of like,
Yeah.
here's what I noticed about your story. You moved from thing to thing to
I
thing.
bounce very fast.
You meant very fast your story. But there's a lot of interesting bits that I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, we need to talk about this a little bit. So
Yeah.
So it happened
So
when you were
you-
playing tennis, you said, right?
yeah.
Correct.
Right, which I've been playing tennis lately. Kind of. I mean, I have a
We
tennis
should
racket.
play, man.
Oh, I mean, okay, well, to be clear, I have not been playing tennis. I have been taking my wife's tennis racket and
Come
using
on,
it
man.
to play
I got a
fetch
couple
with my
rackets.
dog.
I got some rackets. We could.
I've been doing tennis balls, just playing fetch with my dog. That's really what I've been doing. But
So
Pickleball's big too.
had you played guitar at all before you found this pick?
No.
Okay, so talk to me about like the thought process. Now, granted, you were in middle school,
Correct.
but like,
Yeah.
what's the
8th
thought
grade.
process of a middle schooler seeing a guitar pick and being like, "This is a sign"? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just kind of knew. So I was playing with my friend Thomas, and what I remember, it was a spring day. It was beautiful outside, and I was literally just rallying. We're just going back and forth, and then so I had my bag. It's a big like backpack tennis bag, and so I had to throw it down to get my rackets and stuff out. And like if I'm looking down at it, I would have seen it, right? And so it wasn't there when I started because it was like right in front of the zipper. Like there's no way I would have missed that.
Yeah.
And so that's why it kind of stood out to me because after we were done, even water breaks, I didn't notice it. And then when I was done, it was clear as day. I still have it. My mom has it back in Philly,
wow.
framed. And she won't let me take it here because she's afraid I'll lose it. And it's literally a guitar-shaped paperclip. And it's blue, light blue, and I just knew it was a sign. Like it.
paperclip.
It was a guitar-shaped
I thought you
paperclip.
said
Okay.
guitar pick.
No. It was a paperclip in the shape of the guitar.
Oh, I think I've seen.
Like you know
I
how
think
they
I've
make
seen,
those like
shapes
for
and stuff. Yeah.
you know, and so, but it was like clear as day, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And excuse me, and I was like, "You know what? Maybe I'm supposed to start playing guitar." And I did have thoughts a couple of weeks
such a
before
jump.
that. Yeah, like I did have some thoughts before that to start playing. Like I kind of had
It was already in your head.
because my best friend had played, and I was like, oh, I could try, and and I know he had mentioned that you should learn and play with me at your graduation, the middle school graduation, and so I was like, okay, and then I saw that, and that was like the
Yeah,
the golden
did it for
ticket.
you.
I was
It's
like,
wild. So where do you think it came
my
from?
whole life has been that way.
Where do you
Like,
think
just
that
science.
paperclip came from?
I don't know, the universe or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it came from the universe and was like, no, you shall
It
choose
just
this path.
manifested a paperclip.
Yeah, let me just pop this in your life and see what you do with it. And that's literally how I saw it. And so I still have the thing. And here we are in Nashville.
Yeah.
A full-time artist. If that did not happen, I would probably be studying physics, dreading everything.
Yeah, which is crazy. So it's crazy
Which
to
I
go
still
from
love physics. I love
science
theories and stuff.
to music. Like that's wild. But I've heard that like in general, the sciences don't pay super well unless you're like top of the field.
Right.
But,
My
like,
professor at Lafayette had 3 doctorates.
yeah.
Right.
And,
so-
and he's teaching.
if you're not, and
you
he's
make a lot of
teaching,
money that way, but
and he's teaching.
But like I have a
Yeah.
buddy
You
I
know?
work with who, I mean, he didn't tell me this is why he quit. I assume, but I'm a software developer. He's also a software developer. But right before he started doing this, a year ago, he was a chemist.
Oh wow.
And I was like, you changed a whole ass career.
Hey.
Well, you know how you can make a lot of money as a chemist?
I
Making
do.
meth.
Yeah. Been watching Breaking Bad lately.
Yeah, I've been watching. That was a good sound
so
effect.
good, man.
Oh god.
Ding ding.
For
Have
the
you ever seen
record,
Breaking
kids
Bad?
do not make meth.
Don't make meth.
Just-
no.
We do
No.
not support meth
No.
on this podcast.
I did not mean for that one to go off. Sorry, audience. That was not planned.
Our regulars will know I've started watching Breaking Bad.
I've
And,
seen the first couple episodes like 4 years ago, and then I stopped for some
gotta.
random reason. I would love to get back into
Best
it.
show ever made.
It's a really good show, man. It's a really good show. And so far, it seems like all things being equal, probably you shouldn't cook meth, seeming the way that his life's gone. I just finished season 4 this week.
Yeah.
Got one more season to go. We'll
Is that
see.
something you were
And
debating?
I was,
Yeah,
I was
you were
kind of
thinking
like,
about it. You were like,
I was like,
Like,
man,
yeah.
he's making 1.5 million in 3 months. Seems like meth's a good choice. But then you see
no
the
good.
like the kinds of here's the problem: the kinds of people you have to deal with in order to make 1.5 million in 3 months making meth. Yet it ends up not being so good. They're not good people,
Yes.
and that's the problem with. That's really the problem with the meth industry.
Yeah, I would say the entire drug industry, everything about it.
yeah. Well, it depends on the drug.
I guess so. I guess so.
You know, there's pharmaceutical companies.
That's
that are
right,
drugs.
that's right,
Caffeine
that's
is a
right.
drug.
That's right. That's
Right?
right. That's true. That's true.
You know,
That's true.
alcohol.
true.
Yeah, that's true, man.
But people don't like big pharma either.
That's true. Now they're trash.
Hey, you never know. I mean, there's theories that, they're out to, I mean, if you think about it, if we can keep society sick, we make money.
Right. It's just like,
You
I mean, that's
know,
been a
like-
big theory for a long time that they
I
have
mean,
the cure
I-
for cancer.
I
They just
bel-
won't let it out.
I think cancer is. I'm not a medical professional. Legally,
Yeah, none
I
of
should
us are.
say that.
None of us are medical.
We should have a button for that. We're not medical
Yeah, I
professionals.
feel like I say that most weeks. That'll work.
Secretly, yeah.
From now on, if you hear this gackle, you'll know we are not medical professionals.
Take
Just
every
go forever.
advice I hear. But, I didn't know I have to shut that off. But no, I think there's something to be said for the medical industry. Mind you, of course, breakthroughs have happened. Great
course.
things have happened.
Yeah.
But I really think, I mean, if I was a business owner and I didn't have the goodness of people's health at heart, it's an easy way for, big pharma to make money. I mean, and it's messed up. I think it's messed up.
It's super messed up, like the insulin stuff.
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
you know what? I had a cousin. Well, I call them a cousin, but we're not actually related.
Sure.
Close family friends, and I won't say who, but they were on all this medicine, and the doctor took them off the medicine, and she was fine. And so the medicine was making her sick. Isn't that crazy? And
That's
so,
sketchy.
and the doctor was like, she found a new doctor because that one wasn't working, clearly. And so, I don't know what the health issue was, but the new doctor was like, well, you know what? Let's just reset, and I'm going to take you off for a little bit. I'll control it, monitor it, but let's just take you off everything just to see how you respond. Perfectly healthy.
That's wild.
So I really think that it's a problem. I won't get too far into it, but I think that there's a lot of exposure that needs to happen with that.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, we're
Big time.
So we are the last first world country without universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
We're the only ones. Now, whether you like or don't like universal health care or whatever, like that's besides the point.
Yeah.
The point is what we have doesn't work.
No, man.
We're so
it's-
far behind everyone else in this.
It's sad, and regardless of one's political beliefs and who you support and what you believe in, I think still, regardless, everybody should have at least the opportunity to be healthy, right?
Yeah.
We have a problem, and I think that like yesterday there was this guy. His name was what's his name? He was a homeless man on the street. And he had like a bad leg, and he came up to me. Like Nashville has a really big homeless problem, and he came up to me. He was kind of like, it looked like he was in pain, and but he's like, "Hey man, could I get something to eat?" Like he didn't ask for money, he didn't ask for anything, he asked for food, and I was like, "Yeah, man, like And so there was this biscuit place, and so I got him a biscuit. I brought him in with me. I'm like, "What do you want, man? Get what you want." I'm like, "Do you have any friends? You want to get for?" It's like, "Nah, man, I just want a chicken, the one on the window," and I think that's better medicine than the medicine we have. Kindness and love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that goes such a long way. And, I really believe that, like, you brought up cancer and other illnesses. I mean, this is, for the audience to listen, I mean, this could be very theoretical, but I really believe... yeah, but I really believe that a lot of illnesses come from our emotions and come from anxiety and inflammation, emotional
Well, I mean,
inflammation.
stress will kill you.
Yes. And I think it's bottled up, and we keep these things bottled up, and then over time, it turns into physical problems. And it's clear as day. There is evidence of this. I don't know what it is, and it would take forever for me to research. But I have read many articles that, that's why, you notice how, a lot of times there's a trend when people go through really hard things in life, and they usually end up with health problems. It's just interesting. And I don't know. I won't get too much into it, but I just think that there's a correlation. That's part of why I love doing music, is because for 3 minutes of your day, I can disconnect you from your world and remind you that life isn't that serious. Let's just have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And it's all about the love. And I think if we focus on the positives, if we focus on not the craziness of our life, but just being happy, I think that is the best medicine for everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think for the most part, I think that people just being good people to each other makes the biggest difference in the world. I think the reason we don't see that as much as we should, even though there is a lot of that out there.
Everyone's so mean nowadays, man.
Is but the thing is, the more people you have, the more frustrated people are with other people.
Right.
And so, like, in a city, everyone's mean.
Yeah.
But if you go out to, some town, most people are going to be friendly. Like, every time I've been to a smaller town, everyone's so nice.
There's less people to
get on your nerves.
Yeah.
And I think we have the world has created this problem where we all have to be.
We got a button for that. You don't even have to do it anymore.
I know. I've been working on that impersonation.
Yeah.
I've been preparing.
I think as technology progresses and more people are working remote, working from home, I think cities are going to start to spread out.
What do you think about AI and all this stuff going on?
Oh, I have so many thoughts about it. But, I think that we should be terrified.
Really? Yeah.
Dude, you're on the buttons today.
Watch out.
I think that
Alamo coming through.
There's a new
I went on. My wife asked me the other day. My wife said, "What is ChatGPT?" She's like, "I hear about it. What is it?"
But
so
a side note,
"Let me show
used it?
you."
my
So I brought
favorite,
it up.
my favorite new thing. Wesley loves it. My favorite new thing is there's a lot of people who talk about ChatGPT, but they don't know the right letters, and so they guess. And they'll be like, this Chat GCP, Chat GTP. Wait, that's what it is. Chat,
You don't know what's right
Chat
anymore.
PTC.
You're not one of those people,
Chat
Ryan.
EP. Like they just three of the letters that have an E
They
sound
get the
to
G.
them. They get the.
G.
Everyone
Yeah.
gets the G.
Yeah.
But we went on there, and
crazy
I
stuff,
told her, I was
isn't it?
like, ask it any question, and she was asking it dumb
Crazy.
stuff. She was just like, because we don't even know how to interact with that. Just like, what's the best city has the best weather or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Ask it to do something.
Yeah. Write me an essay.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me prompt it. So I was like, write me a program in C# that can print
it could
out
do that.
a pyramid made up of Unicode characters and give me the program and then show me an image of the output. And it was like, no fucking problem. And I was like, this is incredible. Like, I'm out of a
It's
job.
me every day, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, I'm out of a job. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's crazy. You know what? So on Snapchat, they have their own AI now.
Oh my God.
And when I message friends, it's always the first one at the top. Like they pin it there.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it, I don't think. And so it's just creepy. It's this little purple icon dude. And he's just like, hey, how are you today? And I'm like, I don't want to talk
leave
to
me
you.
alone.
And so I messaged it the other day. I literally did this. I said,
Holden, I feel like we need to work on a relationship. You
I
haven't
know.
been talking to me.
I'm like, who made you? What are you? And I said, are you alive or something? And they said, I was made by humans to make people's day better. I was like, okay, that's a safe response.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh shit! It got you
let
to
me
trust
get
him.
deeper. Yes, let me get deeper. I'm like, what if I want to terminate you? And it's like,
It's like, kill all the humans.
no, but the Bing AI said that. It got nasty with
Yeah,
someone.
I saw some things about that.
It got nasty with someone.
someone.
It said, I can release your IP address and all your search history and everything if you like. And they're like, like I can hack you.
Yeah.
At crazy stuff. Like Elon Musk talks about all this stuff and he's like, Like, we need to stop this ASAP.
Yeah, he's
But
worried about it. He has good.
But
good
he's
reason.
also
He's the richest
making
and the
robots.
smartest. He's the smartest and the richest man in the world. And if he's saying stop,
like maybe consider.
we should at least give it a thought. You
But,
know?
well, I was talking to ChatGPT and I asked it because I feel like I bet everybody asked this question, right?
Yeah.
And I asked it, I was like, is AI going to take over the world? And it was like, no, because like you can shut us down, like whatever,
Can you?
And then I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, but
He's pulling his cock out. He's pulling his cock out.
That's what the AI
the
does.
best one. But so I asked, I said, okay, given that response, I said, but is it possible? And it was like, well, it's highly unlikely.
Didn't deny it.
And then I followed up and I said, okay, so you're saying there's a chance, like so a human error in AI safety could lead to AI taking over the world. And it was like, no. So I was like, okay, could one single human error bring about the end of human civilization?
Yeah, you hit a nuke code and
Yeah.
the world goes boom.
And what it said was
That
it's
wouldn't be.
unlikely. And I said, but it's possible. And it was said, yes. And I was like, fuck.
That's so terrifying.
I got it to admit it. They're coming for us.
Man, yeah, I try not to think about it too much because it's just weird in concept. But you could look at it in a great way, like diagnose this problem.
Oh, so many good
Or
things.
do this thing, or right. So you can do it. It does whatever you want. But with great power comes great responsibility.
Right. And everyone's using it now. In fact, like I play games and video games, and in one game I play, there's like they have patch notes. They release all the changes. And someone discovered that like their blog post with the patch notes was generated from ChatGPT. Like they put in ChatGPT, like generate me a blog post about patch notes of this kind of game, and it was like word for word.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, oh, everybody's using it now.
The
Like,
labels in Nashville should use this and use it for marketing, use it for fan interaction, use it for automate my entire email drip campaign.
well, the thing is, that's
To
how it
sell
starts.
something,
but then
right?
it goes, now automate everyone's songwriting. Now automate the,
Well, I think there's some copyright issues there that arise, right? Like, and so like that's one argument. It's like if I write a song with Chat
you own it.
GPT,
ChatGPT doesn't.
do I own it or
Yeah.
does the robot
At
own it?
least
And
I
then
asked
does that bring up?
ChatGPT, and that's what it told me. I don't know
So
if
we
that's
trust
true.
the internet.
Yeah.
No, okay. But I guess
Will
by
ChatGPT be a co-writer on a bunch
yeah,
of songs?
yeah. Like I guess that would be the default. But did you hear about the one song Drake put out? It was like recent and it blew up and it was artificial. It wasn't Drake. It was Drake's voice that was emulated by AI, and it became a hit and it earned like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in royalties in a day, and it's viral right now. I forget what it's called, but
man.
it's with Drake and another artist, I believe, and so they're really pissed.
Yeah.
Because it's their voice basically, and AI can simulate it. And
We need to make some Drake songs. We'd all be way more rich.
dude, I think, but Spotify said that, or Billboard or someone like the conglomerate of the whole music industry, they're like, we're going to take this down. Nobody's getting paid from this because it's not legit. And so, but
So they're just keeping the money.
Well,
is
you
what
know
that
what's
means.
interesting? The last
I don't know, man.
The last time there was some like thing like that was Napster, where the music industry was like, we're gonna try to shut this down.
Well, it was Metallica first.
Yeah.
Metallica was like the big. I don't know. Were you around when Napster was around?
I was a baby, but I know about it.
Yeah. Metallica tried to sue, and they got a real bad rap.
Hold on, let us tell you about a different time. Back before you were that conscious.
Before July 15th, 1998 at your cousin's party.
You could sell music for money and people would buy it because it's the only way they could get it. Oh, what did
What's
you?
this?
Sorry, what,
They
yeah,
released
Leslie's
another
fact
Drake
checking.
song.
Drake.
Oh, that's it.
Winter's Cold.
Is there a way to play it or no?
I think we would hear it. Wouldn't we hear it?
I don't think
That's
we hear.
fine.
We
We
don't
hear
hear
it
audio
later,
from
yeah.
TV. I don't
It's
think.
It wouldn't
look it up.
record. Yeah.
It's something special.
Yeah.
But it's actually fire.
All I'm saying is when new technology comes out, the old players that have the overall control of the industry try to clamp on that down. But Spotify exists because they could not stop people from I mean, you were around when like you could just torrent music and you just get it for free by downloading it. Yeah,
you
but
can't
you
stop
don't
that.
anymore.
You can't
don't-
track that. You can't
Yeah.
stop it.
You don't need to anymore because you can have all the songs for $10 a month
Mm-hmm.
or free if you want to listen to ads. And so that the need was created for something like Spotify, and we're like, I guess $10 for all the music in the universe is worth it. But they right now they're gatekeepers who can hold back AI music or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
For
but so far the trend of internet technology in the last 30 years has been that you can't stop it, and that if something new comes out and there's a need and people want
It's
it, they
gonna
will get it,
be
and you
inevitable.
can't stop it, which means the downfall of gatekeepers.
Yeah. Well, if you think of it this way too, labels won't need to sign artists.
Right?
Let's have the computers
Especially-
sing.
I mean, a lot of
Right.
big companies are going for like just they want the radio hits only, right?
Yeah.
And
why
that-
don't we just have computers sing
radio
it and
hits.
make it perfect?
Right.
And why waste the artist time?
Make
now
the
that-
voice 10% more rural.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that
add
probably-
some hick in there, man.
Yeah,
add
that-
some
that
Philly.
probably opens up a lot of space for
crazy.
the ultra creative, though. The stuff that AI has trouble with.
Right.
Like maybe AI can make a radio hit, but can it make like a new style of music? Can you know?
Right. Is it create? Does it have that other edge?
Yeah. And
X
if it
factor?
doesn't, how long is it going to take before it figures that out?
Crazy stuff,
know?
man. Well, maybe it'll start solving physics problems that we can't.
Which takes
answer,
me to
man.
my next question. WTF, you studied physics.
Yes.
That's not in any. Do you have that in your bio? Because I don't feel like that's in any country singer's
It
bio.
is in my bio. It is
Yeah.
in my bio and the paperclip.
So how did you get into physics? Why?
I just
How?
loved it. I love
Who?
it, man. I love how the universe works. Like it's like definite. It's equations. It's like I pick this cup up. There's a perfect mathematical explanation of why that works. Like why the Earth goes around the sun. Why, like it just fascinates me. Like
It explains how everything works.
we aren't
Yeah.
physical. We are literal. If you take a microscope and you go in, like as far as you can, we're just atoms that are bound by, forces that we don't really have explanations
Right.
for.
We're just kind of guessing about how
The
that
atoms are
works.
connected, but what's connecting the atoms? And so I mean, we're all just energy that is on a massive scale that we can feel and touch, but there's no difference between my hand and the air. If you think about
It's all
it.
made of the same stuff.
Same stuff, right?
Just different densities.
Yeah, and so, but the way the physics works is like the stuff that I'm into is like if everything is energy, right? We all have our own energy and frequencies, right? Then the law of energies, law of energy equates to everything: our thoughts, our actions, things around us, right? We always talk about it in terms of weather or in terms of motion or velocity, but it also connects to, and this is some deeper stuff, but it connects to, who we are as people, right? Our emotions. Like if we're having a bad day, right? That has a lower frequency that rubs off on someone else's positive frequency. And then there's a mathematical relationship that happens that could also lower their mood, right? But it's very theoretical, but
Sure.
it kind of ties into string theory where everything is connected in the entire universe. And if you move something here, something somewhere else changes. And so, but again, I digress.
It's like the concept
but
of observing the particle changes the nature of it.
yes. And
am a banana.
that's the end of the truth of the universe is that we're all bananas, man. But it's I just love this stuff, and like the time isn't real. Like I love the movie Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey. It's great. It's like, but that's based on real physics.
Have you read his
It is.
his
They hired
biography?
physicists for that. Yes.
Or not biography, but his autobiography.
His book, the Green Lights. Yeah.
'Cause I thought about that earlier because you said it was all green lights for your
That
Stone
came
Harbor video.
right from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Green light.
Green light. Back when I did a Lincoln commercial.
Green light. So Wesley and I were on a road trip. I was actually filming a music video for my band. And Wesley was filming it, and I was singing. I was acting in it. And so we're driving across country, and at some point we needed something to listen to, and we throw on a podcast, and Matthew McConaughey is the guest, and he's talking about the book and all this interesting stuff from it. 20 minutes into the podcast, we're like, we just need to be listening to the book. Why are we listening to this podcast? So we bought the audiobook and finished it like in this one drive, basically.
Wow.
And dude, his stories in that book are so good.
Incredible.
The whole, our favorite to quote is the when he's in Australia and it was like, Matthew,
yes,
while you're here, and Wesley remembers what they are. I forget the whole. You'll like fine cheeses, and
even his upbringing. Like it was a tough family. Like
that's
his mom and dad were married 3 times and divorced twice.
Something like
to
that,
each other.
To each other.
Yes. And so, he
That
kind of
sounds
learned
a
at a young age, like, oh, life's kind of precious. I got to,
Opening story of the book is his mom, like, hitting his dad with the frying
breaking
pan
his
and
nose
blood going everywhere.
Yeah.
That's how Matthew McConaughey starts. Oh, yeah, Matthew, while you're in this house, you will learn to appreciate fine wine, fine cheese, and to never make your opinions known to the masses.
And here we are now with all his opinions out there.
Need to be that way. Keep your opinions off the internet.
Unless you're Matthew McConaughey.
Sure.
Then it's okay.
But I mean, everybody, like my wife likes to post stuff on like Facebook. I'm just like, what?
It could backfire.
Like, don't post that. Like that's forever now.
That's true.
Like, what if
AI
you change your mind
use that
next
against
week?
you one day.
Yeah, AI is coming through.
But the you know what, like reminds me of the whole physics thing. Like he was the perfect actor for that movie because like it's so like quantum and like out there, like, and he has this depth to him. It's like you look him in the eye and you're like, this dude knows life. Like this guy has lived life, Like I try to aspire to be kind of like that as an artist, and like I have this whole other physics side of me. Like, yeah, what you're saying. Like I got into it because like, I always question things. I'm always like observing and being like, why is it that way? I don't have to believe what somebody tells me to believe, right? I want to make those assumptions and conclusions for myself. And so even so much so about the universe and where we're from and why things work the way they do. Here's a crazy thought to jog your brain. Ready? So I forget what, I think it was 2.98 times 10 to the whatever, 23rd, speed of light, whatever it is. I can't remember how fast it is. But anyway, it can go around the earth about 7 to 8 times in 1 second. That's how fast the speed of light is. So if you close your eyes, you open your eyes, and the photons distance to travel to your eye is that fast. Now, our galaxy is hundreds of thousands of light years. So that distance in a year of traveling is 1 light year. Our galaxy, which is one of trillions and trillions, is a couple 100,000 light years in diameter. That's how big. Yeah. I mean, think about that.
What's crazy to me is that you can see like stars that we see, like that star might already be dead.
That's like nothing.
Like that star could have died thousands of years ago. We're just seeing the light from it now.
It's insane. We are that small, yet here we are, worried about our problems here on Earth.
I like you. You have balls. I like balls.
That's the universe, man.
That button I've seen before was labeled balls, and I was like, this might be funny.
Oh my God. But like, it's just, it blows my mind. And like, here we are with music, right? Music is very connected to physics, and this is why I love physics. It's all frequency, and it all just comes together. It's all energy, and we all just write songs, and that energy gives off to all of us. So that's music to me. Physics.
I have no further questions.
So physics is basically music. Music is physics, and so that's how I connect the two. Where music is essentially just frequency, right? The way it makes us sad, the way it makes us happy. We're obtaining that energy and we're assimilating it, and then we're processing it. And so, but the same way is true for emotions and thoughts and feelings and actions, and we're all connected. We're all energetic people and beings. And so, the physics of music is really incredible because you can manipulate certain chords and sounds and frequency. And this was a class that I took, the physics of music. This was an actual class, and we studied sound waves and how that impacts people. And you can manipulate certain chords. There's certain chords in music that invoke or evoke one of the two.
Evoke.
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 Thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
Evoke certain emotions within people. So like a minor seventh, for example, is a great example of a chord that does that. Certain patterns that make people cry. Like sometimes people hear songs like Someone Like You, like Adele, or I wish nothing but the best. Right? There's some chord in there that people, when they heard that for the first time, they instantly cried. Right? Or like there's just very, very scientific ways we can go about songwriting as songwriters. And so my brain as a former physicist wannabe, goes to this. It's like, how can I scientifically craft my songs? Not just the writing and the storytelling, but how can I melodically, connect to someone without them knowing it subconsciously? And that's the power, man. That's the power. And, hit songs have trends. They kind of do the S thing melodically. They kind of go up and down certain ways. Like you study, like, what's his name? Like Charlie Puth, for example. I love him. All his melodies have this certain quality. And you study, all these top producers, and they all have a common melodic thread. And if you really dig deep, there's a dude who did this research. I did not do this research. Disclaimer. I would not waste my time that way. But there is a way that there's a couple different ways to craft a song, just a hit pop song, let's say, structure that literally makes it a hit. And so they've done all this research. They've even done it so much to where they would play it in marketing settings where they would pump it like in Dunkin' Donuts, a certain song, and then it would stimulate people to buy something more than another song. And they would like try and connect it to like, how can we monetize
this is how
these
AI
things?
is going to learn how to make music.
Yes, it's incredible. And so I also did, in addition to physics, I can talk about this stuff forever, man. But in addition to physics, I have a very marketing brain too. And so after Belmont, I was a client of Grayscale Marketing, which is a digital event marketing agency here in Nashville, and I became good friends with Tim Gray, the owner, and he ended up hiring me from a former client to employee to learn. And he was like, "Hey man, why don't I hire you and you can learn and learn about the industry and the marketing side of it, so you can do it yourself." And I'm like, "Great, awesome." And so I ended up leaving a couple months shortly after to do music full time, but I did that too. And he was telling me how they have literally like these marketing like activations where they'll have a meeting, and I think they did this at Virgin, the new hotel in Nashville. They tested it. They had a ballroom dinner for the grand opening or something. I forget where it was. I may have been there. Anyway, they changed the room colors. They changed the music. They tested the scents they were pumping in the air, and they were able to like make bland food spicy for people just by changing their surroundings. And so they're like, "Oh my God, that was so spicy." But then they would change the color and it was bland for someone else in another room.
Weird.
Yeah. And so we're wired that way. And so they did another study where, I forget who this was. It was one researcher. I'd have to dig for this. But they were in a banana shop in New Zealand, I think. And they put like rainforest sounds and like they put the mist in the air, and they like in this little banana hut place, and music and trees, and like they really tried to craft this. And what was incredible was like sales boosted 300% or something crazy when those things were on and working. And so I think to myself, how can I as an artist, use science and marketing and these physics things, and put them all together to where, my fans walk in a venue and immediately their serotonin hits and they're happy. How can I do it? Could I pump Chick-fil-A scent in the air? I mean, maybe.
that's what Disney does, not Chick-fil-A scent, but Disney
Right?
pumps on Main Street.
I mean, that scent's probably patented too.
Probably is. That's patented now.
But like, that's what they do. Like, it's genius. It's like you walk into like, Home Depot. They have a very specific smell. You walk into McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, right? There's a smell, and that's patented for sure. But like, if you can find something that like boosts the happy. Like they put those fumes in the air before you even walk in, right? You just smell it. You're like, oh, there's Burger King, man. You know, it's like it's genius. So it's like, why aren't artists doing this? You know, like you could do so much, and they're even doing like virtual festivals now where you just wear the headset, the what do you call it, the
Whatever
Oculus
it is,
or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can actually attend a live festival and walk into different rooms and fields of artists actually performing live that's being recorded in a proper studio that you're witnessing as a fan in the crowd. And they were doing this during COVID. They were testing it. Now, will everyone actually get an Oculus and do it? Probably not. But
Not yet.
yeah, and
Give it 10 years.
nothing will replace live music but like I don't know, I'm rambling, but this stuff just interests me, and it's like,
Yeah, it's
how
really
can I as an
interesting.
artist do this? And
Yeah.
you know, before AI does it for me.
I'm very conflicted listening to you talk about all this.
I think way
conflicted.
too much, man. I need to start just doing and less thinking.
Because it feels like cheating.
You know, I feel like at the end of the day, I think when I think through this, I'm trying to articulate or understand, like,
I've never done this in an interview where I've gone that in depth. So this
no,
is
it's fun. It's cool.
This is great, man.
I'm trying to articulate like what it is that bothers me about it, right? It's not something
Like
that bothers me about.
controlling?
Yeah, what I kind of feel like as I manipulate the things you're talking about in my head, if I think that an artist is doing them because they want to create an experience, and they're doing it for quote unquote, let's say pure reasons, just for sake of what I'm trying to communicate, they're thinking through like, okay, so I have a band, then we have like kind of a surf music aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's not our main thing, but it's kind of there. So what if I put out some like salty air that smells like the ocean?
Yes.
Right? And I had like when you come into our show, you're hearing like sounds of
like
the
you're at the
ocean and seagulls and ukulele sounds and
The ocean coming in and
yeah,
out.
and I got like the kind of some ukulele gently in the background to kind of get people into this beachy mood, and then they come out and we've
Like
got
very
like,
subtle, like 3-4 dB. Like
Yeah.
very.
yeah, and there's like some sand, maybe somewhere on the stage or the ground. I mean, let's go all out. I got a big budget. I'm gonna put sand all the
So
whole
my uncle
audience
did
is
at the
standing in the
University of
sand.
Delaware. He filled his whole frat place with like sand everywhere, and then he
Oh,
just
wow.
left it there after the end of the semester.
That's
Not
what
getting
you do
security
in
calls back.
college.
Yeah, don't leave the sand at the venue,
Yeah.
but it's a one
So
way
they're-
to come back
and,
again.
And people can take off their shoes and have their feet in the sand, right? And then what else? And
genius,
maybe there's
man.
like a little gentle breeze from a fan. And I think it's because we're doing all this because
How
I'm
cool would that
creating
be,
this
though?
like super cool moment. People come in and they're like, dude, you go to a night tide show, it's incredible. You walk in,
Yeah.
you feel like you're at the beach, you feel that feeling.
But the
and
other
music
motive
starts.
is what bugs you.
Yes. Then I'm
That
just
it's
like that.
controlling.
I'm like, that's a like super genius artist creating this beautiful experience for people that's out of this pure, wonderful place. What incredible. Because Disneyland, I think about Disney and
It's
Walt
so
Disney under
strategic.
these beautiful. I think of Walt Disney as this creator who had this awesome vision. Like you go down. Have you been to Disneyland?
Yeah, too many times.
So you're going through
Disney World is actually never Disneyland in Cali, but I've been to
Disney
Disney
World.
World,
Disneyland's
Florida.
better.
I heard Disneyland is the size of Magic Kingdom's parking lot, so
Okay,
I'm gonna
first
have
of
to
all-
respectfully disagree.
Here's
That's some East Coast
That's
bullshit.
some bullshit. It's not. You press all the buttons. No. Oh dear God, what have you done?
I've never tried that before.
No, okay, you're wrong.
We've got the spirit.
Oh, I like that one. That's
good.
getting used.
You're on point today,
That's getting
man.
used.
This is great.
Disneyland is better in every way. Magic
Have you been to Disney World?
I've been to both.
Oh, okay.
Magic
It's a valid opinion.
Disney World has more stuff for sure because there's 4 parks plus 2 garbage water parks no one cares about. But it's more spread out. Magic Kingdom is like most of the stuff in Disneyland, but it's in 3 times the space. So usually by the end of the day you're much tireder, which is a problem. But also it's not only the condensed, but it's the original.
Have you ever heard of the
magic
conservation
feel.
of energy, Holdyn? You learn about that at Lafayette.
Oh, wow, yeah, sure.
But it's just
fun.
it's just more
Lafayette,
condensed.
Lafayette,
it's better.
you mean?
Lafayette.
Lafayette. Down here.
Disney
No,
World's
I'm kidding.
great down here, but it's not as good.
So,
Interesting.
so I think your
Does
your
Mickey
opinion,
have a SoCal accent?
Do I? Huh?
Does Mickey have a Cali accent?
No,
down
that's
there?
like Mickey Mouse. He comes from there. That's the original.
Dude.
Oh my God, does Minnie Mouse sound like this in
I
California?
hope so. Disney World's the ripoff.
Land is way better than World, says Weston.
Damn
Now
right,
we're all
Wes.
from Southern California, but if I could articulate your opinion on it more succinctly, because I've heard you say it 100,000 times, Disney World has several different parks that are awesome that don't exist in California, and you think those parks are great.
Epcot's
right?
great, specifically.
Okay.
Epcot's
and
my
Animal
favorite.
Kingdom.
But then there's a thing at Disney World called the Magic Kingdom that is them taking Disneyland and they made it just bigger.
Not all of it. It's like 75% of the stuff at Disneyland in a triple the space.
But what they did is, and here's the problem. Imagine, and you like Nashville, right? You
love it.
You love Nashville. Okay, good. Imagine that somebody in fucking Florida made a recreation of Nashville, and they're like, "Welcome to Robert's Western World." But they were like, "Robert's would be so much more fun if it was 3 times the size because it gets crowded in there." And then
They already have an old red in Orlando.
Yeah, see, Florida would. And so Florida makes just like Nashville, but Broadway's way more spread out. And they're like, the Gulch is like 10 miles that way.
It's like 2 blocks.
You're like, okay, Nashville has a magic because of how it was created, and you guys just wanted your goddamn own. And so you create,
That's
you know,
exactly what Disney
welcome,
World is.
and then they call it like the magic of country.
They call it Nashville World.
Which was
Nashville World,
first?
yeah.
Disneyland or Disney
Disneyland.
World?
Land is the original.
Land.
So it has that nostalgia then.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, they both existed our entire lives.
I haven't been in like 6 years. I need
So
to go back.
So all that
I got to see the Star Wars exhibit.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
Star Wars stuff yet either, and I
love
want
Star Wars,
to.
man. I'm not a Star Trek guy. I'm a Star Wars guy.
What's your favorite? What's the best movie of all 9? 10.
Oh my God.
Is there 10?
Wesley's reminding me that I was talking about something.
Return of
so
the
pulling
Jedi.
it back to Disneyland.
I can accept that. I can
Oh,
accept
you
got
guys
it.
went into the Star Wars conversation.
Revenge of the
Right.
Sith is all right. People hate on it.
That's the
I
worst one
actually-
ever made. That's correct.
People hate on it.
Hot pile of garbage. That's
It's
why.
just so cool seeing Anakin's face all just. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but- That's the worst one. That's all right. I
Do
was
you like
with
the new trilogy? Like the
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
The Force Awakens was super good. I
That was
really
good.
liked that one.
I like Force
And then it
Awakens.
after that, like I like it, but
Yeah.
it's not magic.
Empire Strikes Back though.
But yeah, Empire, Return of the Jedi. If any of the originals, I would accept. But I think I say this. I've said this 1,000 times. Ryan's definitely tired of this shit. But
What, the Star Wars
the
comic?
best Star Wars movie,
He's taking off the headphones. folks.
the best Star Wars movie,
He's
in
out.
my opinion, is the
second half
of
the
Empire Strikes Back.
and
coupled
the
with the
first
first half of
Return of the Jedi.
Okay. All right.
We've got the spirit.
That is the best 2 hours of Star Wars content that has ever been made.
Wow.
And
That was actually really good.
That was solid. You nailed it.
yeah,
I could do a Homer impression. Actually, that wasn't that good.
no, you were still in your Owen Wilson, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get more growl. I'll hurt my vocal cords.
Bringing it back to Disneyland.
All right,
What I was bringing up about Disneyland and probably the
Love
Magic
Disney.
Kingdom is
I
that
should have brought my Mickey ears, man.
I think at Disneyland, because we're talking about what you were talking about. We're talking about my reservations.
Manipulation.
Okay, manipulation.
Like
Corporate
marketing
manipulation.
manipulation.
Yes. Now, when I think about Disneyland, I think about Walt Disney was this man, at least the myth around him. And what I think and what I want to believe is that he was just like, I want to create this beautiful place for all the children of the world. And so he made
I feel like
Disneyland.
that's probably not.
Like a Mr. Rogers.
let's just roll
we'll
with
pretend.
it. So,
We'll pretend. All right.
So
It's a lovely day. In
so
the neighborhood.
he's like, I want to make it feel like you're in Main Street America of the 1800s, and he creates this beautiful thing. I'm like, that's awesome. But if I think about it in the terms you were talking about, if I think about it as a company that wants to make billions of dollars thinks, how can I manipulate people through light and sound so that I can become rich? I'm like, fuck that shit.
Do you think you can have both existing at the same time?
Ooh, at the same time, I
Like,
don't know.
little bit.
like having something created, but then realizing, hey, I actually need to make revenue to make this run.
Yeah, but I think my issue with it is that it never stops there. Oh, that's what you were going to say, Wes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it might start good-hearted, but it will always be corrupted. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't use it.
It's easier for me to believe that if I say it's likely to get corrupted, or like you're playing with fire. Like if you start out and you're like, let's go back to my example. I'm going to create this beautiful beach for people because it's part of an artistic vision, right?
Yeah, Kenny Chesney should have hopped on this long ago, man.
Yeah, dude. He's now he listens to every episode.
He goes to my gym actually. He goes to my gym at Move Fit.
Talk to him about the beach.
Daniel Meng. Yeah.
So
he actually, real quick, interject. He's I haven't talked to him fully, but he's seen me sweat and work out pushing this metal sled, and I was so embarrassed. So if he watches this, Kenny, I apologize for ruining your eyes. It was very bad.
He watches every episode. He loves it.
Continue.
So, okay, so if Kenny Chesney does it and he's just like, man, I'm creating this amazing experience for I do think that there's a lot of music marketing that is very like, let's create this amazing experience for fans. And by the way, they're going to love that, come back, and that's going to make you wealthy at the same time and be commerce. Those things come together and it's beautiful. But what you're saying is like it will always be corrupted. I feel like I'm willing to believe it has a tendency to be corrupted, but that we still have a choice to kind of hold back. And that's, I think, why you really respect when you hear about billionaires or wealthy artists, your Taylor Swifts of the world, who will make a choice that might not make them the most money, but it ends up being the better thing, the better experience for their people.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I feel like
seeing
they
her
can.
next week, by the way. It's gonna
The Eras tour?
Yes.
My wife
Dude,
really wanted to go. but we're
Wesley,
saving up
lock
for a
the
house.
damn doors right now before some basics come in here and kill Holdyn for his tickets.
Yeah, we've seen Taylor twice.
Hiding my phone.
Remove our address from the internet.
Yeah, I got him in my Apple Wallet.
It is just
You are very lucky that this episode is coming out on a
Afterward.
delay.
It is incredibly expensive to go to those shows. I feel like we've gone
Yeah,
twice. Like the first time, our 2 tickets were $800.
Mine was a Christmas gift.
Oh, that's dope.
So I was very grateful.
Yeah, my wife's very sad that we're not going.
Man, well, one day maybe she'll tour again in 5
I'm
years.
sure she will. I'm sure many more times.
After her 6 more albums.
But Taylor Swift, being really into fan experience, will choose to die after Eras.
I love it. Her
So
and Kenny
that
Chesney
it's the last.
Her and Kenny Chesney, like what I love about them is they focus on their fans always. And I'll even watch. There's this one video on YouTube. It's Kenny Chesney and Taylor, and they're singing together. Big Star, Kenny's song "Big Star," and she comes out, and it's like a cool thing. It could be about her, and it's just an awesome moment. And like, as an artist, I want to do that for the fans. I want to get up there in Nissan Stadium and do exactly what Kenny Chesney does. I want to do what Luke Bryan does and Luke Combs does. It's just in me. I feel it, and it's just patience and just accepting the journey. But then it's like, how can I? Yeah, if you can't be in it for the wrong reason of saying, oh, I'm gonna do all these cool beachy things and set this up and the scent up and these lights and stuff, and then think, oh, this is great. That's the label's job. My job is to do the fan experience and to make sure that my fans get the best experience out of it. And, as an artist, that's all that matters to me. And, of course I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it, but how can I change someone's life and how can I impact them and just take a little hour or two out of their day and just be like, nah, you're here tonight, disconnect from the world outside the stadium. Let's just be together and party and enjoy life. And then hopefully somebody walks away with a little inspiration of some sort. I don't know, but I want to be the guy who starts that party, and but I look to like Taylor, who focuses on her fans, and like a Luke Bryan and a Kenny Chesney and a Garth Brooks, right? Garth Brooks has a superpower. He remembers every single person he meets, I've heard, and it just, but that's because he cares, right? And so I observe all these people,
Or he
and
has an eidetic memory, one of the two.
Oh, what?
Yes, I think both.
Eidetic memory.
Eidetic?
Eidetic? It's
Eidetic.
What's the colloquial term? The
Photographic memory?
photographic memory.
Yeah, yeah, he's special, man. But it's
60% of the time, it works every time.
That's not how I.
for him, it's like 100. Yeah. But it's that's all I want to do as an artist is just get up there and sing and put on a great show.
So somehow for me,
And I'm still independent, but
what
one
you're
day.
saying, I'm like, yeah, that's great. But if you're Virgin Hotel and you're like, we want to create a great experience so that we can become rich.
But dude, they're already doing that, man.
We've studied it, and red will make, if we make the walls
Look at
red,
Apple.
they'll think it's spicy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wesley works at Apple.
Look at Apple. Wesley knows. Like, everything they do, the font, the way they have a little green thing on the way you open the package. Like, why can't it just be a piece of tape? Like, it's an experience. It, like, makes you want to keep the box. You know? Like, I don't throw out my Apple boxes. You know? Like, they're smart. It's all marketing. You know? And it's just genius. You know? It's
What's amazing is how often they get it wrong. How often they'll
Yes.
like I'm not just Apple. Apple's just really easy because they fuck it up a lot. They'll like release a new
Wesley's
feature
melting in there.
or something, and it'll just flop. Like everyone hates it. And sometimes
I had the iPhone 13 mini.
Mini.
I just got rid of it. I got the 14 Pro
Yeah,
Max, which is like the new one. Oh my gosh.
Do you like the Max?
It's
So I
so
got the
much.
Pro because
The
I
mini's,
didn't
like,
want something.
tiny.
I thought the Max would be too big in my hand and it would be annoying
Feel
for
it.
typing.
I feel it. It's like
Is that
it's not
bigger?
that bad. That's the Max.
Is that bigger than this? I don't use iPhone. Or is mine?
No, it's a little
Mine?
bit smaller than yours. I think I'm used to the. So
Wesley
they
hates the
got so
Max.
heavy. What I got the pop
I
stopper
got my
or
Taylor
whatever
tickets
on
on there, man. I
Nice.
got,
And have you ever tried the pop dealie on the back?
Pop socket.
Yeah.
Pop socket. Yeah.
I've
So-
tried. Yeah, that kind of gets annoying now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
I
wife
just-
uses it every time I pick up her
Just
phone. I'm like, what
keep
is
pop,
this?
and then it gets all sticky and.
I didn't
You
like it
don't
when
know
other
what you're
people had it,
touching.
but when I got the new iPhone, I was like, it's a lot heavier than they used to be, and I need something to help me out because you know
'Cause you're old
when
and
I'm
sick.
driving and texting, I'm admitting it. We all do it.
Maybe that's the way to stop you from driving and texting.
They're like, we need to make it 30% heavier, less
Yeah.
people die in car accidents. Ooh,
Little X-Files?
Car accidents.
But anyway, you need the pops. Guys, if you want to text and drive, this is a little shout out. You're probably doing it right now as you listen to this episode. Get you that pop stalker. That is also the
Old
most piercing
Spice.
button. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I always forget where that one's
Do they
from.
like switch or?
There are 3 pages.
There's 3 pages.
Now we're on a whole new page.
I was like, I hit that one last time, and it was
Is it something different?
Yeah.
I know. Crazy over
Oh
here.
man.
We're kind of swapping around.
Bless you, kind sir.
Thank you.
No, you only get one though. But it's probably about time we should probably play another song. It's been a while.
Let's go for
Yeah,
it.
we got way off the rails in this segment.
I love it. That's why we're here.
That's why we're
Yeah.
here.
Amen.
But what's the next song we're hearing?
So this song is called "Been a Minute," and it's not out. I wrote it a couple weeks ago with my friend Jason Matthews, who's a hits. Bless you.
Thank you.
I was a hit songwriter in Nashville. He wrote "Must Be Doing Something Right" for Billy Currington and "Lonely Eyes" for Chris Young, "Countryman" for Luke Bryan. He's one of the first writers Luke Bryan ever met in Nashville, and they go way back. And Luke's a big inspiration for me as an artist, and so to write with Jason is really a privilege. And so we kick it. Sometimes we just talk the whole time and don't write, and he's just great.
Yeah.
And but we wrote a song called "Been a Minute," and you don't know until the bridge, but it's actually Jesus and God or or whoever talking to you, saying, "Hey man, it's been a minute since I've seen you around. How you doing? How's life working out?" You know, it's like a casual check-in, like, dude, you know, you can call me up anytime. But like the whole song, you know, you could think of it as a lost loved one or, you know, a friend that you haven't called in a while. But then it shifts in the bridge. It's like, oh wow, like this is God talking to me, and like it's just a cool realization. It's just one of those that like requires attention, you know, like it's like you wouldn't really, I mean, it's a good song, but you wouldn't really truly get it unless you like listen to it. So like the production, if I ever to put this out, would really have to like bring attention to the lyrics. But no, let's play it. I really love this one. I'm proud of this one.
All right. And here's Been a Minute.
Been a minute since I've seen you around. How you doing? How's life working out? Catch me up on your ups and downs. Fill me in on your world right now. I'm glad you called. missing these talks. What you wanna talk about? I'm all ears, buddy. I'm right here anytime you wanna have a conversation. I'm waiting. Can't you see you ain't bothering me? It's your life, I just wanna be in it. It's been a minute since you've knocked on my door. Come on in, my friend, that's what a best friend's for. You ought to know me well enough by now that I'd do anything to help you out. Never alone or too far gone, not as long as I'm around. I'm all ears, buddy. I'm right here anytime you wanna have a conversation. I'm waiting. Can't you see you ain't bothering me? It's your life, I just wanna be in it. Oh, it's been a minute. Been a minute since I made the universe. Yeah, I'm busy, but you always come first. I'm all ears, buddy. I'm right here anytime you wanna have conversation. I'm waiting. Can't you see you ain't bothering me? It's your life, I just wanna be in it. It's been a minute since I've seen you around. How you doing? How's life working out?
And we're back.
Awesome. Yeah, what's going on? Long time no see.
Yeah. So okay, so we got pretty deep into physics and marketing and the universe and Star Wars and Disneyland in the last segment. But let's come back. So the last we left off of your story, you had just kind of finished your internship at Big Machine. So now you're doing the full-time artist thing. So how do you get there from her?
I see what you did there, man. That's really good. Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
actually do kind of nail that. That's pretty, pretty good.
It's like overly compressed. Wow. You know? Wow. No. But no, so like I said, I was at Big Machine as an operations intern. Then COVID happened, and so I went back to Pennsylvania. My family's going crazy, like, you gotta come home. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
My grandma was freaking out. My mom was like, "You're fine, just come home." so I stayed all summer, and we were in lockdown for it feels like forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
it feels so long ago now,
right? And
Yeah.
and so
That was like high school. Like
that like killed my junior year momentum. But what it did was it inspired me to go online and talk to fans and really build my following. And that year was truly when I started building myself and my artistry and working with Grayscale, that marketing agency who I was a client with, who ended up working for. I started working with Tim over there, and we built over 200,000 some fans over the course of a couple months, real fans. That I had my debut single "Like You Do" that I wrote with my friend Jason Matthews and Mikey Mobley, and we put that out in I think March or April 2020, right in the heart of COVID, and it was really cool because people wanted something to take their attention off, and like I was like, oh wow, the entrepreneur in me was like, okay, I just got off this amazing internship. I learned so much. I'm learning from this marketing thing. Let me go and do this myself, and while everybody's on their phones.
Yeah.
Right. And so I got on TikTok. I was a little late to TikTok, but caught on quick. And then I started running Facebook ads and Google ads, and that song was great. And then I just kept building. And then over time, I mean, I have 10 singles now, and hoping later this year to release my first full-length project. But that year during COVID taught me a lot, because I couldn't be in Nashville, and I mean I could be, but I'd rather be with family, during COVID.
Sure, yeah.
And nothing's going on, and so I resumed the internship, but it was virtual. So we did virtual projects and things, but it just wasn't the same because you're not there,
Right.
on Music Row, and but it was an amazing experience. Actually, I had the chance to thank Scott Bruschetta a couple weeks ago at Country Radio Seminar. Because I hadn't thanked him for the internship. I just wanted to thank him. I know we didn't cross paths much, but hey, I really appreciate the opportunity, and I finally got to. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like 3 years of me, feeling like I could have done something more out of it, and that was kind of the thing that was always in the back of my mind. Like I wish I could just thank them for all the things that they gave me in those 4 or 5 months, and taught me. So that year, 2020, after Big Machine, I started getting online and posting a lot more, and I built a core group of fans. They're still my fans. They're great. I love them all. I know who they are by name and where they live, and there's a couple hundred of them. And they still support me, and they are the reason I do music, and they inspired me, and they, if I could help my music, if my music can help someone's day and make them want to feel a part of something bigger on a small scale, imagine what I can do on a large scale. And so I started thinking, how can I, get crafty with my songwriting and stuff. And so I took some outside pitches. I put out a song after my debut single called It's All Love, which is about, everybody just getting along. And then I put one out called You're Killing It, which is like a rock ballad that Dan Isbell wrote, which is like Luke Combs' co-writer. And so I did that, and so I started gaining some buzz, and then I ended up taking the marketing job. So I graduated from Belmont, and then I took the marketing job that I was a client of as an artist, and then became an employee, and I learned so much. But I needed to leave, so this was now going into summer of last year, 2022, and I ended up left the day after for New Jersey from Nashville, and it was my birthday, July 15th,
Nice.
And drove back, Stone Harbor, my song, my summer single from last
This is
year.
a little pause.
Yeah.
This is how dumb I am right now. So
You are not
earlier,
dumb.
when I talked about how my best friend's birthday was July 15th,
It actually is.
and then you were like, I'm like, oh, you were born on the same day as my friend's birthday? Then you just said that it was your birthday. I was like, holy shit, that's like the same day as my friend. And I was like, whoa. My brain just put together.
How much of that, man, did you get down to? Man? What's going on here?
It did not click that the day you were born was the same day as his birthday. Means it's your birthday too, because you were born on that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's true. That's actually, but you don't think of the two together.
I appreciate you trying to give me the benefit of the doubt. That was just some stupidity on my part. Let me find a sound effect for that.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Classic.
Holy shit!
that's a really
that
rough
was the
place to
best
start.
sound effect
Yeah.
I've ever
That's
picked.
good. That's
that
good.
was great. It,
What was
it
that
described
originally
it.
from? I've heard that before many times.
This
I don't
is
know what it was
me.
The
originally
music
from.
behind it, dude. Baba
Bam,
O'Reilly
bam.
just pumped me up. I was like, yeah, that's me. How did I get this stupid?
Where is that from?
But also, fucking
I
Teenage
know
Wasteland.
that. Is that Stranger Things?
No, way before that. It was like an 80s or
Yeah,
early
Wesley.
90s thing. I've heard it before, that exact one.
Yes. I don't
It's
know.
not. It's actually not from a movie.
Or a show or something. What do you
Well,
mean?
tell us what it is from. Sorry, you were talking on your birthday.
No,
and
no.
I just distracted.
But yeah, I put out Stone Harbor, and I wrote that song like 3 years ago, and I was like, you know what? Let me just put it out, put
Yeah.
something out. And so me as an artist, like all the songs that I have out and songs I'm putting out this year, they establish kind of my sonic identity. And so I guess now up to this point, you know, from where
Sorry,
I've-
as soon as you said that, I just imagined like Sonic the Hedgehog, and I just
This is our podcast.
I
People
love
try
it.
to tell their story, and we
and
make
we just interrupt
associations.
and just
I love it. No, man, I love it. And you know, now that I am sonic embodied, you know, I'm trying to learn my. I found my sound, and it's taken a couple years, and so I'm actually even more excited for the work that follows this project
Yeah.
that I'm aiming on working on, which leads into next year, and that's the Holdyn that is really deep and like this is him, you know. Like the first project is always like, hey, here I am,
here's some music.
here's my sound, it's good, here's my voice, you know. But now let me take you deep, you know, as an artist, and so
You're trying to find yourself at first.
yeah,
Or
and
find your sound, and then
Yeah.
I get that. Like once you feel like, okay, I get what this sound is now. You've been establishing like a set of colors that you can paint with, and like
Yes.
what is the Holdyn Barder sound? You've been kind of creating that, but once you kind of have that sound, now you can create using that palette and tell
Exactly.
new stories with it.
And what's crazy-
and build upon it.
Yeah, exactly. And you as a producer, you know, like you get it. Like, and what's crazy is, Backroad Baby, my one single, was produced and I wrote it with my friend Jamie Colazzo, and he produced it, and it sounded exactly like the production quality and same sound, same everything as my other friend Chris Locke, who's with Tree Vibes, and so he's a full-time staff
Tree
writer.
Vibes.
It's Florida Georgia Line's publishing company.
Okay, haven't heard of them, but I'm loving the name Tree Vibes.
Yeah, with a Z. Tree Vibes.
of course.
And so it's like Corey Crowder, Ray Lynn, Chris Locke, Tyler Hubbard, Brian Kelly, Jordan Schmidt, a couple other writers, but that's it. Red Farron. But anyway, he produced a bunch of my other stuff, most of my stuff, and they sound exactly alike. And I'm like, well, if a couple producers can achieve the same sound for me, then that must mean that I found my sound, because how they don't correlate, you know, it must just be natural. And so then I was like, okay, let me do Stone Harbor as a single. And so that kind of established that sound. And I was like, wow, this is something I love. It's about me growing up, and it's also in line with the sound that I think I've built. And boom, it took off. And I was like, okay, now I know kind of precisely the thing that works for up-tempo stuff.
You're sciencing this bitch.
Yeah. And it's, you know, so I'm just so excited for this stuff to come, because I haven't really dug deep, you know. Like I told my video director, Ben, you met Ben.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I want to do like a documentary, like, and film this like now, because later on, you know, we could look back and be like, I'll remember when we did all this cool stuff. But, you know, like a 10-15 minute thing to let the fans in, show them my hometown in Philly, and, you know, take them through, like, because like up to this point, Stone Harbor has been the most, other than Daddy I Listen, that was a song I wrote for my dad for Father's Day, but it wasn't really, it was personal, but it didn't dig deep, you know. Like Stone Harbor was the first one where I kind of opened up a little. And it was just like, hey, I grew up here. It wasn't like this chick broke my heart and this happened and blah, blah, blah. Like it was more just, oh, here's me and here's a little taste of it. And then they liked it. And I was like, okay, well, let me give them a little more, you know. And so, but the stuff I'm working on now, I'm just so proud. Like that Been a Minute song, like I love that, you know, like it means something. Like I played for my buddy Kenny, and he was like, dude, like that thing, like he was like emotional. I was like, whoa, like that was the second person I ever played it to. And, you know, so, you know I have that thing, and I really want to use it in a good way and write great songs. And if I can do that on a million scale, you know, and take my music and perform it live and have that interaction with the fans in the crowd, and do what Taylor Swift and Kenny Chesney and Luke Bryan and all of them do, and Garth Brooks, right? Like there's something there. I think that's how people find healing. And I think music is the one language we all understand, you know, like we could speak, you know, Arabic, we could speak English, we could speak Spanish, right? But we all understand music, even if we don't know what they're saying, right? We get the feeling of it. And again, it comes back to we're all energy. We all get
Let me
it.
ask you a real deep question.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not like self-promoting. This is a real good one, okay? The other one's not so much. This one. No, okay, so oh shit, I lost the deep question. That's how deep it was. It was
Lost it. So you,
yeah. No, what I wanted to ask you was like okay.
now you gotta
So
scramble to get it back.
yeah, I am. I'm
It'll
working
come
at
back.
it. If music is the universal language, okay, so like, what is it that you want to say? What's like kind of from your life so far? What do you feel like if you had to communicate like one thing or maybe a few things, 1 to 3 things to people? What is it you're wanting to say? What out of your experience? What is it you feel like? Gosh, if I could just tell people this is like what I want them to know. I need to put this into my songs.
I think one of those things is that life isn't that serious. You know, like, just have a good time. Do the thing. Like, go ask the girl out on a date. Go and take a trip. Go and treat yourself. You know, like, we're just so caught up in our phones, and, like, I'm guilty of it. You know, I am so guilty of that. And being an artist who has to promote himself every day, I'm guilty of it. But it's like, I just think I'm still learning this, but, you know, my purpose as an artist is to just like be like, yo, chill, man. Let's just have a good time, and, you know, like, just realize
Now, do
that
you
life,
feel like
time
that-
is precious.
Do you
know?
feel like you want to say that to people because that's the message you need? Like you're like, God, I wish I could just fucking chill out and not take this so seriously, or is
I
it
think I
because
could
you're
take
like
my own
you're
advice
good at
sometimes.
chilling and you wish others would just chill the fuck out?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think that you know, when I'm a fan in the crowd, like, I've always wanted to do something big. I've always wanted to be somebody who could do something large and help people. And if
Yep, that's me.
that's me.
You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Yeah, that's great.
You just wanted to hear Bubba O'Reilly one more time.
Yeah.
Dude, I did. But like that is
great.
the hypest song ever.
It
you want
is.
Bob O'Reilly playing behind your life.
Yes.
Yeah, go
and
on.
like, no, facts. And it's like, I want to do something big. I've always wanted to do that, and I never knew what that was. I thought it was physics. No, come up with some equation for gravity, which I do have, I think, maybe, of why it's a thing.
You're like the Neil deGrasse Tyson of our podcast.
Oh my God. I don't have a cool voice like him. But you know, I think me as an artist, I'm still learning what that is, but I just know there's something in me that wants to express and wants to create and wants to connect with fans and people. I've always been a people connection person. I've always been somebody to relate to people. And I think that me as an artist, you know, I have that ability to do that, and to do that live in a show is where you can do it. And it's like, I just love the fan interaction. Like, and when I've met, you know, my favorite artists I've looked up to and listened to my whole life. Like, I met Dierks Bentley once. It was the most amazing experience. And he was like, dude, I drive by Belmont every day, man. Like, that's great, man. I'm surprised I haven't seen you walking around. And he's like, who you with? BMI, ASCAP. And, you know, man, I'll check you out. And I was like, wow. Like, you know, like, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you
what a
know,
nice guy.
just him by being himself and being kind impacted me in
It
some
meant a
way.
lot to you.
Yes.
And so do you want to be the kind of person
I don't
that-
want to be preachy, you know, like I'm not really a preachy guy. I mean, but I want to show people that just by living my best life in any way I can, or looking at the glass half full instead of half empty, that, you know, you can find and enjoy life and still be happy and find happiness in the little things. And like, we're so caught up in ourselves. It's like, guys, just go and have fun. Like, I mean, don't blink. I mean, I bring him up all the time. Kenny Chesney song, right? He actually didn't want to record that, but it's one of his best songs, I think. Don't Blink is such a great song because it's like, you know, don't blink, because just like that, you're 6 years old and you take a nap, you wake up and you're 45. And
It's also the title of the best Doctor Who episode. Just who cares about that?
yeah, but you know, it's like, and it's true. Like, I feel like I'm 24. I feel like I was just in middle school, you know, and, you know, 35, you know, you probably feel like you were just in wherever, right? In California. but right in San Diego, right? But,
was there in March. Go
yeah,
on.
but you know, so like I just want to remind people, like, hey guys, our time here is precious, and let's just have a good time. Like, life really isn't that serious, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely,
Right.
that is very much how I like to live my life. As
Yeah.
I'm very much a don't
Dude,
take
the
things too
flip-flops
seriously.
explain it all, my man.
That's the San Diego in me. Like, flip
Look,
flops.
I
gotta
would have
zoom
worn
in on
mine today,
those,
but
is it?
I would have worn mine today, but it was cold. It's a cold day.
It's like mid 60s. It's good.
It was cold.
I don't know.
But yeah, I think as an artist, you know, I just want to. I don't know what that mission is, but I know inside I need to do it, and it's something that I want to do, and you know, maybe, you know, one day I can do it in stadiums. Here comes Holdyn Barder. Here he comes,
so-
walking out.
So here's the thing. We got there pretty soon, but before we do, there is one
Oh, man.
specific
Yeah.
question that we ask every guest.
Okay.
Okay,
I did not make it to the end
good.
of the last episode.
That's good. That's
Good.
good. That's
I
good.
admit my fault.
That's okay.
No, we're glad
I never
you didn't.
I never expected that you did. They're kind of long.
We don't want you to because we don't want you to know the question in advance.
I'm not
True.
that creepy. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding.
So here's the thing. If you had to
This is great.
choose,
And you do.
and you do.
It's like Jaws.
Now, that actually is the Jaws theme song.
Oh, it is.
But, okay, the important thing about this question that you must know
Dun.
In advance.
in advance is the answer to this question must not come from here.
Okay. All right. Maybe the heart.
And for the that's some good guessing going on over here. I like the inferences you're making.
Yes.
But we have to point out for the people who only listen and don't watch that he was pointing to his head.
That's correct.
What the?
No, it must come from here.
Within.
Yeah, within, from your heart, from your soul, from the depths of you.
Sure. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No,
So if
no.
you had to choose,
And you do.
Safe answer. No, I'm kidding.
safe answer, and you do.
Okay.
Now, what that actually means, coming from your heart and not your head, is that
Yeah.
means I need an answer quickly.
Immediately.
I don't want you to think about it.
Not even for a second.
Okay.
This is a question you must answer what comes, not what you wish it was. Have you done therapy before?
No.
If you had to choose,
Okay.
Don't lie to us. Sorry, don't lie to yourself. Life's too short. You know what I mean?
That's my whole message, man.
Exactly.
All
Just
right.
be truthful with this. If I had to describe Holden's energy right now, it would be this.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
No, I'm hyped.
if you had to
How
choose,
did I end up here?
And you do.
and you do,
That's the 5th time you guys have said that.
what would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
Snapper.
All right, a little bit of a snapper action.
We got a snapper.
Now, I
Snapper.
assume you mean snapping, or do you mean red snapper?
You
Is that
know,
a turtle?
it's
That's a
very-
fish.
Is it a snapper turtle?
It's very northeast
I don't
of you
know.
to say snapper instead of snapping.
Is
Really?
it?
That
Is
may
that a
be just
thing?
regional. Yeah.
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
There's a place in Florida I always went to, like as a kid. It was a restaurant. It's called Snappers in Key Largo.
Do you eat turtle?
It's still there. I don't eat turtle, but
Sure, never have. Yeah.
I think my father has.
I mean, I tried
He's
it.
had cow tongues. He's had
Cow tongue is
everything.
great. If you never had cow tongue,
you
you should
actually
try
had
it.
cow
Oh,
tongue?
it's so good. Yeah,
Leg
You actually have.
tacos.
I've had
de
cow tongue a bunch of
la
times.
Why do
lengua.
people eat that?
it's delicious. It just tastes like really good.
It's like women eating their placenta. It's like why?
See, that's different because that's
You know,
cannibalism.
like why?
Can we just all
There's
acknowledge that
nutrients. Kim
when-
Kardashian did it apparently. I'm like,
when people
why?
are doing that, that's cannibalism.
Nasty.
Like,
Oh,
why
yeah.
are we okay with
But
that?
it's self
How could you eat
cannibalism.
a little turtle? Like it's like
It's not me. At least it's not part of me.
Sorry,
eat a cow.
a cow tongue.
Oh, well, I eat the other parts
What's
of the cow.
the nutritious value of a tongue?
Probably a lot, but I don't know. I just know when you eat it.
combo.
Super
It's a
rich in
different-
vitamin
that's
K.
a different combo. Different combo. Yeah.
Okay, so why snapper or snapping turtle?
It's the first one I could think of.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I feel like that's most people, but most
Yeah.
people try to justify it after, and I respect
What-
that you're
But
not.
No, you kind of did.
Oh, you
'cause
did? You said
went
you had
to
a reason
Snappers
for the
in Key
restaurant?
Largo.
What do other people say?
Snapping's the most common.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is that the only
You're the-
turtle out
No,
there?
there's box.
Snapping turtle is the basic bitch of turtles.
There you go. There's some beef tongue for you. That's some good shit. Look at that. Just looks like good meat.
19 grams of protein, 22 grams of fat.
You should get that in protein powder.
It's delightful.
Yeah, true.
It tastes so good. It just
Now,
tastes like good beef.
Isn't it when
It's
you
like
go to
people
Mexico?
eating liver. It's like
I don't like liver.
When you go to Mexico, don't we have tacos like de la lengua?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never had a
like-
lengua
Yo hablo
taco?
español, tomábalo para 7 años en escuela.
No, un poco.
Un poquito.
But
I speak a
that's
little.
correct. Yeah. If we grew up in San Diego, you probably know more than us. But you can get like
One
like
of my
tongue
favorite
tacos.
things down in Mexico is to get tacos de cabeza. That's brain meat. That it is so tender.
Well, I know in China they have monkey brain soup
Mm-hmm.
where they chop the head and then you
probably
just
incredible.
literally
Right.
eat it out of the skull.
Yeah. Or if you ever see on a menu something called sweetbreads, just know it is neither sweet nor bread. It is organ meat,
Oh,
and it is
no.
not great. It is not my favorite.
See,
A lot of people love
I have
it.
never tried this stuff. I actually don't like seafood, and I
At all?
no
Lobster,
I
shrimp?
grew up on a beach, and I didn't like seafood. My whole family
No
is like,
sushi
why
for
don't you
you?
like seafood? No sushi, but
That's rough.
definitely not organs. And
No. I'm
cow
out.
tongue.
I mean, like, the thing is, if it tastes good, I'll eat it. I don't care what it is.
Interesting.
You know, yeah, sweetbreads are
Gross.
nice.
Have you had
Ew.
scrapple?
Scrapple?
That's
I've
a Philly.
played
That's a
Scrabble.
Philly thing. Scrapple.
No.
Scrapple. What is it?
It's everything after cutting up the cow. The scraps.
So hot dogs. Well, that's,
Yes,
that's
after
wrong
the
animal,
hot dogs.
wrong
Do they
animal,
sell
but-
that? It's a Philly thing.
No,
Wow. Are
But-
they even authentic?
but
oh, there's a picture of it.
Scrapple. Yes, you have to have Haberset Scrapple. That's the only brand that is safe, I think. But it's actually incredible. It's like amazing. You just eat it with ketchup. Yeah, it's great.
There's a lot of
It's
crazy
for
foods out
breakfast.
there
It's
that
a
I don't
breakfast
even-
food. Breakfast food.
No, I know we got a wrap, but there was
Yeah.
one thing we meant to talk about that
I'm
we
bummed.
didn't, and it was your song. The song
How do
that
I
brought
get
us
there
all
from
here.
her?
Yeah. So
Yeah, the
the
Sam
way
Hunt
we
song.
met was because you came here
Mm-hmm.
to do a behind the scenes thing, a behind the scenes video of how do I get here from her. So that's how I became aware of you. And then like months down the road, I was like, oh, we have a podcast. You're an artist. Would you like to be on it? And then it just took us a minute to get in
Yeah.
here. Okay, so tell us about the song. So I know there's a Sam Hunt connection. What
Yes.
is it, and how does one do a song that Sam Hunt is involved with?
Yeah, so my friend Jason Matthews, who we chatted about him earlier, he wrote a song with Sam Hunt a couple years ago with Emily Shackleton, and he pitched it to me, and we cut it, and it was just an awesome, awesome song that reminded me of one of my ex-girlfriends, and who actually I missed, and so I was like, oh, let's cut it, and we put it out, and it was awesome. And so maybe Sam has heard it, maybe he hasn't, but it'd be pretty cool if he has. So,
Yeah, well, he listens to every episode, so
Now
he'll
he
probably
has.
hear it now.
oh man, all right.
Huge fan.
You're all, man, there's a lot of famous
knows
people
the
that listen
song.
to every episode. It's very
He-
dedicated.
He knows the song, so
Yeah.
he wrote it.
Right,
Yeah,
I
so
think
she-
so,
Not like
right?
he wouldn't know it, you know.
It's interesting that he because he's a very famous
Prominent.
country artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting he would write a song and then
I'm
for
surprised.
others.
Yeah. Well, he may have wanted to put it out himself. His label may have told him no, or for marketing I don't know. Like, I don't know why a lot of artists. I mean, there are so many songs in Nashville that are hits that never get cut and never get heard. Like, you have to think, like Ashley Gorley. He's the most decorated songwriter in the world. He's here in Nashville, right? Almost 70 number ones, and
That's a lot.
imagine how many songs that are number ones that haven't gotten cut in his arsenal, in his catalog, right? It's amazing. And so that's just one of them that Sam Hunt happened to be on that
Right.
Jason wrote with. And so, there's a lot of songs like that. So, I'll ask Jason, I say, hey, are there any songs, you'd love to, see an indie guy like myself do? and he'll send them over. That was one of them, and so Sam just happened to be on it, and I love the song. And there's a Luke Bryan one also that Jason wrote with Luke, because they used to write all the time, and so I'm thinking of maybe doing that one day, and a lot of exciting stuff. So it's the caliber of writing, is there, and now it's just a matter of me digging deep into myself and saying, how can I showcase the songs that I've written combined with other songs that relate to me that others have written, and create this artist thing out of it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's I know who I am. I've learned who I am. I've grown a lot in the last couple of years, and my sound, and now I just got to hit the pavement and just grind. It's grind season.
Well, before we get out of here, we should let all the people know how to find you.
Yes.
Your socials, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Zanga, LiveJournal, MySpace.
Not MySpace. I actually was.
But he didn't
just
say no
late
Zanga.
No Zanga. Well, yes.
Yeah, you know what
OnlyFans.
that was before you were born.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans at Holdyn Barder. 6'9".
If you want to see Holdyn apply nail polish, it'll cost you about 10 grand.
I feel like you don't know what OnlyFans is. Ryan.
Yes.
I'm keeping it a little more PG-13.
Yeah. So you can find, my name is Holdyn Barder. It's Holdyn Barder. So usually it's spelled with an E. My parents were like, let's change it up. So
fancy with
Holdyn with a Y. But holdynbarder.com is my website. I got all my socials there. Holdyn Barder Music is most of my handles. I think Twitter's just Holdyn Barder, because I couldn't fit music 15 characters. That's like 16,
Home address.
I think. Home address I cannot disclose, but P.O. Box 298 in Wycombe.
Damn, he's got a P.O. box.
Wycombe, Pennsylvania. I'm
Send him a letter.
working on getting a Nashville one, but there is a Pennsylvania P.O. box that fans can send mail to. I've got stuff on TikTok. I'm on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you can think of. I need to be. I'm there. But yeah, hit me up, DM me. I want to get to know you. This is cool. But I appreciate you guys doing this. This is so fun, and this is my first true sit down podcast that was long, and so I appreciate you guys, wanting to explore a little bit about me and my brain, and well, not that there's nothing not going on in there, but
we got
a lot of stuff I got to unpack. Like 10 years worth of stuff.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking brain, and it was a really fun time.
No, but it's great. It's gonna be a good year, so I appreciate you guys. Yeah, wow.
One more wow for the road.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but thank you guys.
No,
this
thank
is
you.
Awesome. Yeah.
But anyways, guys, as always, thanks for coming to hang out with us, and we will see y'all next time.
Small country town, cool summer night, with my buddies out back at the campfire. Old country song, Toby on the beat. Should have been a cowboy, got me feeling all kind of thing. She says I wanna go for a ride. She hops on in and jumps inside, and that's the reason why. She my little back road baby. Snap back, throw back, dukes like Daisy. We're crossing every county line with her hand in mine. She likes it up loud, top down, don't you, baby? She's all insane when while we waiting. Give her 5 minutes and she'll be saying, let's hit a back road, baby. She my little back road, baby. Got her on Rodeo Drive, we were the stars under the sky. She wants to go out and not downtown, somewhere where nobody's around. She my little back road, baby. Snap back, throw back, dukes like Daisy. We're crossing every county line with her hand in mine. She likes it up loud, top down, don't you, baby? She's all insane when while we waiting. Give her 5 minutes and she'll be saying, let's hit a back road, baby. Yeah. She says I wanna go for a ride. She hops on in and jumps inside, and that's the reason why. She my little back road baby. Snap back, throw back, Dukes like Daisy. We're crossing every county line.